Wish I stayed there. I'm a nigga entrepreneur. I got my grades there. Play in society, man. It wasn't made fair. I would be Ivy League if America played fair. For excuse, it's no I was throwing rocks at the pen just for the love, but for the evil. The secret life of G's. You see me blurry. Triple beam dream. Pocket full of money, parking lot full of the haters. Triple beam dreaming, crib with two elevators. 20 flat screens and got cameras every.
You know what?
She's gonna do it anyway.
Hey, you know what? Y'all weren't ready for that shit.
Cause I'm a
I actually
lover.
heard that.
I'm a lover.
I actually heard
You
that.
know what? You know what be pissing me off? Cause there's a bunch of artists over here. Like y'all ever be like, yo, I got this new song. I'm finna let you hear it. And then like you be putting up like your sister or your cousin. You like, yo, play my new song. And you playing your new song. And then like right in the middle of that shit, they start talking to you. And you be like, shut the hell up. I'm trying to let you hear this song.
That's real. That's real. I don't play my music.
That just happened. I'm sorry. My song. Y'all had a whole conversation.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
It was all in the
Don't apologize to me. You gotta call Nas and be like, my nigga, I'm sorry.
Hey,
That's because they was listening to
hey,
the love.
if I had
the
Nas's
love.
number,
I mean, how you can't spit a hard
But I
verse
think
on-
Nas is
and be about love.
underappreciated in today's music genre.
Of course
Music
he
like
is,
that is just
yeah.
not even people like. I mean, did y'all know who he was talking about? No.
I'm a lover. I wouldn't even listen. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
She
I swear
wasn't.
to God.
You wasn't
What is
listening.
that? Look at her face.
You just was like, you like, whatever, nigga.
sound
Immediately.
I swear
Mumble
to
rap done took over.
No, not even that though. Like,
your soul.
if it sounds too serious and I'm not in my serious mode, I'll be
heard
like,
it was
oh, I just want some love. I just be
You love Drake, don't you? You like Drake?
No, I like J. Cole better than Drake. Like, J. Cole is my go-to.
But J. Cole is serious though.
Right.
I said if I'm not, y'all
But
didn't
you gotta be
hit
in
the
the- you gotta be
division
in the
on
mood.
y'all. I was like, he hit the
Yeah.
Nas. I was like, but I'm a lover though. I like division. Like, it's love. It's about loving you.
I feel that. I feel that. I mean, you know,
For real,
Is
listen
it
to 'em.
division or division?
DVSN, division. Listen to that. I'm telling you.
Because I know it
You
was
gonna get
like
somebody
his
to
song started
undress.
playing in my car one day. I was
am.
like, this is real deep. I was like, who is this?
Oh,
I looked at my phone. I'm like,
you know, it's so
Look at my
hard.
pants
It's so
like-
man for me. Like it's so hard to find inspiration from other rappers now. So like I'll like go through my Apple Music and like when you go to the hip hop genre and you be like, yo, I'm trying to find like some like the last hip hop album that inspired me was Black Thought.
yes.
The Streams of Consciousness.
Yes.
Bro.
That is from
No, I think it was Streams of Thought.
Don't look at me. I don't
Streams
know.
of, yeah.
One of the things.
No, because he got two volumes.
volumes. I was like, I can listen to this and like be inspired to go right.
True.
But like all them other shits, I be like, oh man,
What about Rhapsody? I messed with Rhapsody.
she dope, she dope.
Damn, I still thought that was an application when y'all just said it.
All right,
And that's I said nobody. I swear to God, I'm just
Yeah.
not like in the
All
right
right.
world like that. Like,
Yeah, this ain't the hip hop podcast right now.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna let that
When you get a
slide.
chance, you need for real. Like
I'm-
forget Nicki.
no.
Forget no bars.
Nikki got a
Rhapsody.
place. Nikki
Like
got a place in hip hop though.
Rhapsody
does.
is a monster.
Yeah.
Man, I still listen to Lauryn Hill. I ain't even finna play with
That's
y'all.
I just listened to
Like,
There you
no,
go,
thank
sis.
you.
There you go. On
Yeah.
TV
Young
air.
Thug album was like
Man.
the greatest thing
Lauryn
ever.
Hill
Yeah.
actually
I will-
could
yeah, I will say
collab,
that.
and it is.
Yeah.
I listen
Y'all
to
need
that
to
album.
upgrade
Show
y'all
up,
hip hop.
She got to show up to
It's
the
nothing
show.
really to-
All right, y'all. So listen, man. Speaking of Lauryn Hill, speaking of Rhapsody and all those amazing women hip hop artists, it is International Women's Month, so we're gonna acknowledge that.
Yeah.
It's episode 7, Black Group Therapy. We have made it to episode 7, man. We halfway through season 1, y'all. I'm so proud of us. We're doing great things. What else? What else? We got a good show. We got a good show lined up today. The first question, Lebo, what is our first question?
Well, let's highlight the dope woman. Well, International Women's Month.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah. We
Like,
got
the theme for this year's International Women's Month is think equal, bold, smart,
innovate for change. Cool.
Um,
Yeah, same thing. All right, so we're gonna highlight a dope woman for International Women's Month. Her name was Miriam Benjamin. She was the second black woman to receive a patent in 1888. That's an angel number. For an invention she named the gong and signal chair for hotels. Hotel customers could push a button on their chair, illuminating a light to let the wait staff know they wanted to service. The gong and signal was eventually adapted for use in the U.S. House of Representatives as well as airplanes. When you signal flight attendants that you need something, you're using the gong and signal. So, once again, black people creating shit that, innovative society, in my public school reading got us, that information. CPS?
Yes. Okay.
But,
I'm a suburbanite. See, y'all just fucking me all up today.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
I went to Catholic school, so
we gonna get through it. I went to Catholic school and public school.
I went to public school, but I just went in the suburbs.
Man, look.
I think it's all Gen Ed, It was all that No Child Left Behind bullshit normally while we was growing up. So, no, for real. That was the initiative.
Nowadays,
Lebo,
everybody going,
what is our first topic for tonight? Let's get into it.
Well, let's talk about how we got to that first question of the night. You and I were talking, and we were talking about like injustices and how you fight inequality. And I said to you, sometimes I think that like when I speak to women who are not women of color, and they talk about like how I need to have more of a feminist lens and need to fight for female equality. I'm like, yo, I can't even think about that because I'm a black woman. Like thinking about the fact that fighting for my gender equality is like a privilege to me because I'm still fighting for black equality. So that's where the question
Yeah, that's where the question came from. And the question was, in the fight for equality, what should come first, your gender or your race?
I just want to say something to that because in looking over this and looking it up, the first Women's International History Day week was celebrated in 1911. But it wasn't until 1915 that they released the whole the notion behind blacks in general, like all the stipulations behind voting, the poll taxes, your grandfather had to have voted. So it's like there's other rights that I'm fighting for and that I need, that I want, yet you're trying to celebrate me as a woman. You don't even celebrate me as a human.
So, I mean, that's the question. Like, when you think of fighting inequality, do you view it first through your
feminine lens or your
male lens, or is it through
your
racial?
cultural lens? What do you think, Tati?
I mean, I think going back with like the right to vote, the black man was still able, he had the right to vote before the white woman had the right to vote. So I think we have to look at that. Even in the election with Obama and Hillary.
Hold on, let me Google that.
So even with
talking.
Google it, check it out. Even with the election with Obama and Hillary, like the U.S. demonized, like y'all said, like black people as a whole. But when you just think about it, like they picked a cotton picking nigga. They called us niggas. This is what they called us, nigga slaves over a white woman. I think that speaks volume on gender and then race, because we still, even in a fight, what a woman is making, the white woman is making less than a black man in the workforce. So it's like women still, like, as a woman, not even as black, Chinese, white, we still got an uphill battle just by being a woman. So, yeah. I didn't know how I want to close.
What you thinking, Keela? I'm still trying to verify your shit.
So there was an actual study done on this exact question where they took children ages 7 to 12 and asked them whether or not which identity they felt was more important, and they actually chose gender. I feel like I kind of agree with that. I feel like my gender is more important than my race, sort of. Only because for me it's like, I feel like so many times, no offense to black men, but black women fight all the time, and then when it happened back to us, it's kind of like we on our own in a sense, and that kind of makes it hard because it's just us helping us. Not to mention, it's still a lot of laws on a woman's body. It's not a lot of laws on a man's body,
Yeah.
And so Nah.
Is
bro.
there different laws, but there.
Name a law. Name one law that says what you cannot. Come on now.
What you mean?
Let's not play, because I know this.
What you mean, like laws, like
What you can and cannot do with your body outside of like rape, like forceful. Tell me what they tell you you can and cannot do with your body without consent.
Well, we can show our nipples.
You proving my point.
Oh, Lord.
Look, you proving my point.
I mean, I don't know if I fully understand. Like,
Okay, so women, if married, can't get their tubes tied without their husband's consent.
that's old shit.
No. That's still new shit. It's still practiced today, baby. You can't. Your wife can't go get her tubes tied without her husband's consent, but you can go get a vasectomy without hers. Did you know that?
I didn't know
That sound about right.
Lord, and he just proved why it's more important for us to chase after our gender than it is our race.
No, I mean,
you can get reverse vasectomy. You
But
can't
reverse
get yours.
vasectomies aren't necessarily 100% reversible.
I wouldn't know.
okay. So, anybody else want to say anything? What do you think? What do you think, X? What should come first, your gender or your race in the fight for equality?
I think by fighting for gender first, especially if the emphasis is on fighting for the black woman, you can't help but like cross that finish line for race too, because she's a woman and she's black, so she checks both those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So like fighting to the I would think like in a metaphor or analogy sense, like fighting for a woman makes more sense anyway. Because race is just us as a race. Then after we cross that race line, then it's like black women or women in general, we still gotta fight that fight for them. If that makes sense.
I mean, I think, okay, if everybody's done, can I speak?
Go ahead.
I think I disagree. I think that your race should come first. I think that, in regards to just voting rights, I think voting isn't the solution in the first place, so we shouldn't use that. I wasn't able to confirm your statement, so I said, fuck it, I'm a freestyle. But I just think that voting, okay, that's true.
It's true.
It's true. And I stand corrected. I apologize for trying to, check your G in the first place.
Always researching.
But I think that voting isn't the solution in the first place. So although black men were able to so-called vote before the white women still reaped 50% of all the benefits that white men got. So how can I, if I were a black woman, say I should fight for my womanhood first when the white woman was never really on your side in the first place? Like, even during slavery, like, a lot of the murders that happened to black women was encouraged by white women because they was jealous that their husband was raping you every night. So it's like, when I think about fight for equality, I think about fight for culture, you know what I mean? Because that's what's really gonna incubate a healthy human being, a culture, complete with a solid man and a solid woman and a solid community. So yeah, man, I think I would fight. I think race should always come first, because I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at it as like, yo, this is my group of people who I'm trying to build with.
You know what?
Everybody that's a woman ain't on your side. Go ahead.
Okay, so how we started this out was lead with love, and I'm dead about this. And because this is International Women's Month, there were still women up until last year that were allowed to be circumcised. Those are women in Africa. They still your women too, whether your descendants from there is long past or not. I'm still fighting for those women. There were women in basically the UAE that last year just got the right to drive. I'm still fighting for those women. There are women that still are not allowed to do anything in other countries without a man's say-so or a man's write-off because of where they live. I'm still fighting for those women. And I feel like that is important. I feel like that is important because if America is great and everywhere else is bad, the world is still bad.
Can I add to that?
Go ahead, baby.
Even in America, I mean, in a perfect world, it would be like, let's fight for race and let's fight for culture and stuff like that. But in America, the black woman is the most unprotected. The black woman is the one that's the head of the household. So it's like it's like all these stipulations where like the black woman is kind of by herself.
You know what? I'm kind of tired of that. Like the black woman is the most unprotected. In America, black people are the most unprotected. Like include these little black boys in here too, getting their ass shot down like dogs. Like include black people in general. Like don't just like men.
That's true, but
I think, but like in addition to like black men getting shot down, like there's also like what was it last year and the year before there was an epidemic of like 40-some black women got kidnapped in DC,
Right.
and ain't heard nothing about it since. It got mentioned in the paper maybe one time, and that's the type of stuff. Like if you think about it in context of just on a regular day being a black man, being a man in general, your life is different versus being a woman. Like me and you wouldn't think about walking home alone at night, whatever. Like this is where this is where I live. I do this all the time.
I feel like ain't nobody trying to rape us.
Ain't nobody trying to rape me.
I get it.
But like they have that and the added fact that they're black. On top of like we get the only nervousness we get is like a police car drive past, whatever. They have that, and if this police officer don't get out and shoot me, then some crazy dude might come out the bushes and try to rape me.
I'm from the east side of Chicago, bro. I done been pulled over by the police. They had guns put to my head. I done been pulled over in 0-degree weather. Had to sit outside with my hands on the hood of the car for 30 minutes till they figure something out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying double standards exist. When a woman get pulled over, shit, I mean, I ain't seen them treat a car full of women like they treat a car full of dudes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not trying to compare struggles. I'm just trying to say, yo, when it comes down to black people, we all struggle in our own ways.
True, but then like, what about cases like Sandra Bland?
I mean, we can do it a case by case thing. I'm just saying, like, you could say, man, don't let me put my foot in my mouth, but like, okay, I'll do that. I don't know it all, and I acknowledge that, but I just can only speak on how I feel, and I just feel like when it comes down to talking about what should come first, your race or your gender, I gotta say race, because when you go, you save more people. You save the men and the women.
No.
Would we have a race if it wasn't for women?
What?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but you're killing me, bro.
I'm just saying.
Wait, you wouldn't have a race if it wasn't for men either, because it takes two.
But a race is only as strong as the woman in that race, because the women look over the kids. So the women are teaching the kids too, and then I'm gonna take it from an artist's point of view, because I do hip hop, y'all. Miss Toddy, check me out. Okay, in this race with hip hop, black women are the most demonized in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Think about rap. Think about how they demonize the black woman. You a bitch, you a hoe, you a Tatiana. And fuck that nigga that made that song, cause my real name Tatiana, motherfucker. Tatiana was a saint. You know what I'm saying? Tatiana from Russia. Y'all look that up. She was a saint. Don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, and hip hop though, with music, the black woman is the most demonized. You a bitch, you a hoe. You look how they paint us in the media. And look who's speaking on this shit. Black men.
We gotta think about the police and then the men that's against us too.
Right.
See, y'all comparing.
We just tell it like it is.
But when a man start talking about the shit that we gotta go through as a man, it's like, oh nigga, that ain't that bad.
No one's saying it's not that bad. We're saying everything that you go through, we got a little bit more. We go through that plus a little bit more.
Not only that, y'all come home and y'all give us y'all problems. And we hold it for y'all so that y'all can have a place of peace and refuge. Like, let's not even go to the relationship aspect.
Some men come home and y'all give him more problems.
That's true.
That means you ain't picked the right woman.
So now what we talking about?
It depends on what those problems are.
I don't care what nobody say. any black man, I bet the realest nigga in his life is his mama, his grandma, his auntie, his sister, or his daughter. Period. That's the realest motherfucker in his life. They mama, they grandma, somebody like that.
Black Queen. Right. Don't you promote the whole video?
Or his
number queens in it.
I value black women,
Absolutely.
but I'm just saying that like the question is in the fight for equality, what should come first? I just think that your race should come first. You know,
I think if women come first, we can get up there and be a better support to you, and then we can win as a race. Like, but if you're just throwing race first, it's like.
You thinking about the men, you thinking about the boys, you thinking about the girls, and you thinking about the women. That's when you saying race first. But when you say women first or gender first, if you a man, that mean if I'm a man and I'm talking about what should come first, and I'm just thinking about my gender, then how can we really get along? I'm only thinking about the men.
Right, we ain't been doing it though.
So y'all, so here's my thing. So the solution to fix that is to put women first. No, we have to find balance.
The solution is to put
the balance ain't the race.
The solution is to put black women first because the black woman is God. Everything comes out.
Nigga, don't hit me with that shit.
Say it again.
That's bad.
But wait a minute,
everybody
I was against that when you made the song called Black Queen.
You're not hearing me. You're not listening.
I get what you saying.
The white man got y'all so brainwashed.
Really? You finna
The
go
white man got you brainwashed.
Hold on, y'all. What you say, Gina?
Tell them you also made the song Same Boat.
Yeah, niggas. And women. Yeah.
No, but I feel like the whole thing is, okay, if like I said earlier, if we pushing women first, it's not just the black woman. It's all women.
That's my concern.
I mean, my concern is the black woman. Don't get me wrong, I'm a black woman. Yeah.
What you think, Lebo?
So like with that, so for me when I say, like when white women say to me, oh, like feminism this and feminism that, like they don't consider us. They don't consider the obstacles that are against us specifically as black women. And I do think that the black voice is missing in the whole feminism conversation within America. But just to come back at where you were talking about how in America the black women are the most demonized and they're the globally. Like globally. Like I can tell you
I think black people though, like y'all just like completely.
Okay, so once you get to black people, and now it's the black people amongst the black people, it's the women.
Yeah,
but I think
I can't. But here's my.
You got the group. You got the group.
Hold on.
To your point, though, it's like when we say Black Lives Matter and white people come back at us and they say all lives matter. That's kind of what your argument is right now. That's kind of what you're saying to us. We're not saying that men's lives don't matter, but we are saying that the obstacles that women face, especially within the racial climate, within the political climate, within the economic and social climate in the world, women are lower. And so what we're looking for is men to acknowledge that and be like, you know what, that's true. And I want to fight to fix that in the same way that I'm fighting to fix racial injustices.
Right. But you do got the stereotypes of like black men being brutes, but then you also have the stereotype of the angry black woman. So it's kind of like it is a two-way street, but I mean that's what they face too. So we got to take that into consideration.
And back to what Toddy said about the music game, the two hottest women in the rap game, everybody them pinned against each other. Why is that? It's 1,000 black men that's in the game, rapping together, getting money, the whole nine. But why is it always got to be Cardi B versus Nicki?
Because they did that shit to themselves.
I don't think so.
They did that shit to themselves. Nicki came out doing that. She came out not trying to respect Lil Kim. Like nobody pinned. I don't think nobody pinned them. I think that's a bad example because this is hip hop. It's not even authentic. They don't give a shit about nothing but money in the first place.
Okay.
You know, and like when it comes down to like comparing like Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, I don't think you can use that argument because what I'm talking about is the relationship between a man and a woman, not the relationship between black and white. I think the relationship between black and white is orchestrated. It's manually created. But the battle of the sexes is something that's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. The only way to truly, in my opinion, balance that is by working together, not putting not matriarchy or patriarchy. We need a balance. That's all I'm saying. That's why I think that you can't save everyone. But you can't save everyone. You need to just find your tribe, find your village, find your culture, and work with that. That's why I think that race.
When I said that, it was in response to you saying, I'm saying that you ignoring the obstacles that women face, black women face, is the same as when we say Black Lives Matter, and white people are like, but no, all lives matter. It's so to find that yin and yang, to work in balance, is acknowledge that you know what, the obstacles you face are insurmountably higher than what I face as a man, and I acknowledge that, and I need to work to make sure that other brothers are aware of that and are educated on that, and while still progressing the whole race forward.
I think I acknowledged it.
You gonna agree to disagree?
No,
You don't acknowledge it now.
I acknowledge it every day. What was you trying to say, Sissy?
What was I about to say? Something to do with the whole idea of inequality. So you have inequality, and are you saying that a man and a woman is equal, first of all?
Yes.
You saying you believe a man and a woman should be equal, or are you really sitting here out of your mouth right now, John Baker, saying that a man and a woman in today's society right now are equal?
I got a question.
I think that in white society, no, but in black society, I think we're in the same boat.
So you do believe we equal in black society?
I think that black women are more employed than black men.
No, that's not what we asked.
That's not the question.
That's not the question. If that's the case, then you have to be more specific in your question. We're more equal in what?
Well, what I mean, okay.
In
what? I was going to say
in employment,
real equality.
In
what?
general and overall.
Is there equity?
Let's get the total overall.
Like
you got to be specific.
The fact that it was okay. The fact that it was.
I think black women are doing way better than black men in today's society.
Yeah.
So when we talk about
4, 5, when were the lead entrepreneurs since then?
Shit, I think my whole life, nigga.
I mean, that's perspective, but I also think like you have to acknowledge too in that perspective that the same way we talk about how white people have a privilege, that they're just born white, men have that same kind of privilege.
And I acknowledge that, but women have privileges as well.
Not to the same degree.
Not to the same degree. You can't keep saying you acknowledge something and then go the other way.
Is there a privilege that black women have?
Hell yeah. You want to know one of their privileges? Yeah. They can post a simple ass picture on Instagram and get 200 likes. I post the same simple ass picture and I only got 20. That's a privilege. A nigga got to do extra shit to get likes on Instagram.
Did you show abs?
That's a privilege, huh?
Did you show abs in the picture?
No, it can just be a woman can just post a regular selfie on Instagram and it's like, yo, 250 likes. Let me post my ugly ass picture on Instagram. I ain't thinking no love. That's a privilege. Y'all just don't admit me.
That is a privilege. Technically,
you can.
What privilege are you receiving from that?
Right.
Likes is not
you can monetize. You can monetize your Instagram
women don't monetize that.
Yeah.
Women liquidate they assets all the time.
That has nothing to do with privilege. That has to
do
with
exploitation.
That just has to do with the fact that that person.
That's actually exploitation.
Huh?
That's actually exploitation. Even if it is their personal choice, they're exploiting their personal assets to make.
It's one of the oldest professions.
Right now, if I take a picture, like turn my camera, snap, post it, I'm not getting no 2,000 likes off of that.
But you could.
When people are getting those type of numbers on Instagram, it's because they're showing ass and titties.
Right. If I could do that and get some likes, I'll do it.
And that goes back. Well, go ahead and put on some gray sweatpants. Make it happen.
That's a privilege. The body of a woman is art. Women's bodies, a woman's body is art. Men with our flat asses and shit. We ain't got nothing special about a man body.
Gray sweatpants. You been in the gym. Take that shirt off.
I'm just saying. When you talk about privilege,
we love some gray sweatpants now.
That's some real shit.
We know his is.
Hey.
Right. And just be
He gonna get like 20,000 new followers.
Wednesday's a good day to post.
But y'all missing my point. I'm just saying that every men and women have certain privileges. And I think in today's society, women got low-key more privilege than the black. Like,
regardless of privilege, men and women are not equal. The opportunities are not even equal. Right. Yeah, women are now having their own businesses and things like that. But do you know how hard the fight is? Going into a regular job interview, like you're not gonna get the same response that a man get. Point blank.
And I don't think it's a privilege that you got to show your body to get likes as a woman. That's still demonizing a woman. That this is what you're worth, your body. You have to show your ass and titties to get these likes. That's not no privilege.
What's the privilege about that? That's not privilege for you because you get to look at it. That's the privilege.
I'll say, think about it in terms of. I'll say, think about it in the context like my.
Go ahead.
Like when my grandmother, whenever she has like any work done on her house or whatever, she always would let me do the talking because she was like, they take men more serious. Men take men more seriously versus a mechanic or somebody talking to a woman. He gonna try like, oh yeah, you need this fixed, and they had a whole bunch of extra stuff. Versus a dude, he's more likely to respect. And not trying to pull
bullshit.
Because he think, oh, he might know something type thing.
The last car I bought, I took my business partner with me, man, just to make sure that they could see that there's a man here with me because they're going to show more respect and they're not going to try to slide things under the carpet or under the rug. Like,
right.
Okay.
Think about sports. Like, look at the NFL and then look at the league with the women playing football. They have to wear lingerie and play football in order to be taken serious and get any type of support.
Different leagues. It's one where they don't wear lingerie and it's another one they wear.
Well,
what is it? Like even the NBA and WNBA, they don't make as much money as players in the NBA.
But there's a reason for that. They can't dunk a basketball.
And they
well, some of them can dunk a basketball, but we're not seeing no alley-oops being thrown.
No alley.
Okay, let's just say like the general population doesn't usually find it as like if you compare how many people watch the NBA to how many people watch WNBA, they can't hold a candle to the NBA as far as viewership. That's why they don't get as much clout.
I think that's far as just throwing marketing. They spend more money on marketing in the NBA than they do the WNBA.
No, it's just,
I mean you can get the same amount of views as the WNBA with marketing dollars. They spend more money for the NBA than the WNBA.
So you saying that WNBA players are better than?
Yes, because it's entertainment. It's entertainment.
I don't know, but I got a question for you, Tasha.
Are we moving on?
I know.
Yeah, we're moving on.
Certain battles.
Okay, one last thing. Go ahead, Eric.
So 2020, free the nipple.
Free the nipple.
What the hell is that?
Free the nipple.
Free the nipple.
Who free their nipples?
You never heard of it?
You ain't never heard of that?
Hell no. What type of freak circle is y'all in?
Basically, it came from women being
Explain. Tell me more.
So basically, free the nipple came from women being demonized for breastfeeding in public places. Okay. It's called free the nipple. The ability where y'all can show y'all nipples and it's fine, but we show ours and it's sexual based. So they came up with it. It's not. Why is my nipple sexual based?
Because if I walk down the street and I see
child sexual based, first of all, we talking about
for real.
Because if I walk down the street and I see a titty, I ain't thinking about that baby.
Lord Jesus.
I just saw a titty.
You just like
prove the point, bro.
You just prove the point. The only reason we see it that way is because from the time we were raised up, we were taught that a woman's body is a sexual object. It's over sexual.
I don't think we were taught that. That's just.
I just had no. You were taught conversation. Yes, you
TV,
the
BET,
woman's body is
Uncut
art.
at night, bro. I know you used to stay up and watch it.
I just had this conversation, and the whole thing was God gave us ass so we can look at women's bodies, and it's like that's what y'all got it for. That's what y'all got the hips
that's
for.
The most
Our hips are for childbearing. Like we're created for a reason.
It's to be admired.
It's a reason why we attracted to like the hips though. It's because like
men can't help it. Y'all don't understand. We can't help ourselves, y'all.
I mean, if you see a woman with wide hips, you're like, okay, she's more like able to bear a child, so that's why we attracted to her.
Yeah. And it just look good. So it's like y'all gotta understand, like
I get it.
Origin type thing. Yeah.
But I mean, like,
It's no.
Control your, calm y'all
I ain't gonna say nothing.
niggas
Calm y'all people.
men need to learn how to control themselves,
Absolutely.
Yes.
but I
Absolutely.
think women also should understand how beautiful they are, and like how I mean it's just
Can we be beautiful with that?
I mean, women understand how beautiful they are, but that is not the only thing that a woman has to offer, and that's the issue.
talk your shit. That ain't all y'all got off. Like I understand all this.
Asshole.
I'm snitching.
I don't know. Hey,
Yeah.
Tati, who is your favorite rapper? We're gonna play a game. Who is your favorite rapper? Male.
Eminem.
Okay. Who is your? Should we make it personal? Should it be somebody like you know? Or it should be somebody that everybody knows?
Yeah,
Everybody
knows.
Okay, so okay, how do you play this game in the
Who's
first
your
one?
favorite actor?
My favorite actor. I don't know, 'cause I really watch TV, but
Just go ahead and say Michael B. Jordan.
I don't know. Maybe Whoopi Goldberg.
No, it has to be
Man.
No, it can't. It's
Emil.
a
Denzel
Oh,
Washington.
okay, yeah, you're right.
Whoopi Goldberg. Keep it at Whoopi.
Or Denzel.
Who's your favorite athlete?
Athlete. Derrick Rose.
Okay, F, Mary, kill. F, Mary, kill. Who would you F? Who would you marry? Who would you kill? Who did she say between Whoopi Goldberg
That's what Mary Goldberg.
Wait, what for which
And-
one?
Who would I ever?
Eminem, Whoopi Goldberg,
And
and Derrick
Eminem.
Rose. Who would you F? Who would you marry? Who would you kill?
Oh my gosh.
Go, hurry up. You got like 1 minute.
Well, like what?
30 seconds left.
I'm not answering it.
Who would you F? Who would you F, G?
Who would I F?
Yeah.
I think you should probably kill off
Just go
somebody.
ahead.
Rose.
Just say Whoopi. You gotta put your gender first.
Derrick Rose. Okay. Who would you marry?
Eminem.
You'd kill Whoopi.
I wouldn't kill nobody.
Why would you kill Whoopi? Look, she don't put the white man first. Then she done put word wrong second, and then she done killed her own gender.
Your life. You gave a black man a life.
In that
See?
situation,
Oh,
it's
International
a
Women's
reason
Month.
why. I like Eminem.
No,
I like
no.
As a rapper. That's not a fair question, though.
Yes, it was.
Out of them three people,
You picked them.
I wouldn't kill neither one of them. Like, no.
Man, okay, moving on, y'all.
But
Talk
you
to you
said
something.
Denzel. That's all you could have said.
You had all of
Denzel.
them. You said Whoopi.
I said Denzel. Y'all said no. Stay with Whoopi.
Hey, look. And question number 2, we said, how do we change the narrative that stereotypically reinforces gender inequality within romantic relationships?
Tell me, John.
Was that loaded?
That was loaded.
That was
Yeah.
loaded.
Lebo, do you want to explain?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. How do we
That's
change the
loaded
narrative that
already.
stereotypically
She's like,
reinforces?
I got it.
So, like, so for
So
instance, she said, why are women groomed to catch and keep a man? Or, does gender define the role you play in romantic relationships? Obviously. And how does gender play into defining loyalty within a relationship?
Did anybody see the episode of Blackish?
Which
where
one?
they
I'm
did
sorry.
the whole gender role. The oldest son was going out with his girlfriend, and they came down the stairs, and Dre, main character, his dad was sitting at the table, and the girl goes, "You want me to drive?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll drive." No, yeah, you can drive.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they had mad issues with it, and like went above and beyond to tell him, "You got to be the man. You have to stand up. You can't let her do that. You're, taken away from who you are." And he did all that and ended up getting himself in a bind. It's comedy, so it ended up being funny because he ended up like just completely taking ordering her steaks for dinner and this and that. But was just asking if anybody had seen it and their thoughts on it, because
For
they
me-
ended it with
it's unnecessary. Like, it's okay if you go Dutch, like, when you're going out, like, today.
Like, for me, I think, like, it's okay to a certain extent, right? So, I do all the driving in my relationship. But I told my girl recently, like, yo, sometimes I don't be feeling like driving, yo. If you want to drive, I don't mind looking like that scrub nigga in the passenger side.
Why you gotta feel like?
I think that song kind of did it. Like, it's every guy's subconscious when you in the passenger seat. They like, look at this nigga. He got his girl driving him around.
Like even like when I would be like, okay,
He can't get no car.
Right.
I'm in like
That ain't his car. Like,
we may be eating and at a restaurant and it's time to pay and she pull out and pay and the waitress might come and she paying. I don't mind her paying, but I'm like, she probably looking at me like, look at this broke ass. He ain't got no money. It's like, I got some money, but my girl want to pay. I'm gonna let her pay. Like, we got a whole family, it don't matter. So it'll be like, I don't know, like that shit. It don't matter to me, but it do matter. Like when it's happening, it be like, damn, I look like a piece of shit.
I can agree with you on that. I get it. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it doesn't matter. But like John said, like from when you think about like the normal social context of what we're used to, like even like every date I've been on, most of the time the waiter always gives me the check first. Always. And I know like at least ask for it to make it look, even if I'm not paying for it, to at least make it look like I'm making an effort or I'm contributing to something. Because otherwise you just look like, really? Like you took old girl out and you can't even
My
pay?
issue with that is people overthinking it. Like, why are you even concerned with what's going on in my situation in the first place?
Well,
you don't know what's happening. You don't know if this card that I'm giving is his card.
You don't know if I
the
paid
situation.
last week and this nigga owe me.
we don't know if it's your birthday.
It might be a joint account. No matter who pays, we
But
both
look,
pay.
It's
look,
coming out the same.
But that's the crazy part though. Now y'all talking that shit. But if it was the first date, that nigga better pay.
If you actually have hell, yeah.
No.
So the stereotype, you believe in the stereotype, then like you better
A
pay.
man that cannot take care of himself do not deserve a woman. See, as a woman, I believe I am a gift to a man. So you have to be able to take care of yourself. Because it ain't no way that if I have my own stuff and you don't have nothing, you can't even talk to me. For real. You have to be able to take care of yourself, then you deserve a woman. If you don't know who you are as a man, you don't deserve a woman. Period.
See, man, that's why I fuck with Tati, right? Because every time Tati speak, she low key reinforce all the shit I was just talking earlier.
I really don't.
Women are women are beautiful. Women are all of this stuff, and we gotta treat y'all as such.
No.
You got first date?
Yeah, but
No.
it's not, I don't think it's.
I come with my own money on my first date. I'm just gonna see.
But if
you're
you gotta
able.
spend that shit, you gonna be one mad.
I won't be mad because I won't owe you shit. I want you to have that in your mind
Okay,
already.
so if he
I
did,
swear to God, that's how I am.
Right.
Boy,
Why do we have a notion that we have to?
No.
owe him
I mean,
something?
I know it's not a notion. I don't want you to even think I owe you shit. That's how I am.
Right.
Always offer to pay.
Thank you.
But you don't mean that shit.
No, I do.
Wait, you
It don't matter. Wait. Hey, guess what?
Whole time hoping.
You want me to pay?
Card.
Don't mean that shit. Look.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like I do mean it though.
You-
If I offer to pay, I'm ready and prepared to pay. But once again, I feel like
You ain't talking to that nigga ever again.
I wouldn't even necessarily say that. I've had some people that
That's why I be.
like,
Hey.
alright, or okay, yeah, we can go half, and we still have like.
Y'all friends now.
She's a real good friendship.
He ain't getting none of this shit.
Exactly.
I don't want no scrubs.
We can't even be
telling you.
friends.
But no, for real. Especially if I know off the date that I'm not feeling you, I will definitely pay for my shit.
So why you going?
No. I said off the date, meaning like we
So you
go
going
out,
for
we
a
kick
date.
it. I realize like your vibe don't match mine. Woo, Lord Jesus,
You
I'm
finna pay
paying
for
for this
this
shit.
shit.
Don't even worry about it, baby. I'm
Because you
grabbing
don't want
that.
to call.
Don't
you
call
don't
me.
feel like
That's
you
gonna
need
be
to keep
blocked.
reaching out.
Look.
But so why does that automatically communicate that? So it's like the question is, how do we not reinforce those stereotypes, right? Like, I mean, Candace, we were having this conversation about how like you're groomed to catch and keep a man, right? but then it's like, but don't look too thirsty. Don't, or if you propose, then you're looked down upon. Or if you do take the check and you're like, it's cool, I got it, then people are looking at you sideways. So how do we not reinforce those stereotypes? Because what works between the two of you works between the two of you. It doesn't matter what other people think. So you could be totally, letting go of something that could be a really dope partnership just because of what other people think.
And if you are truly okay with it, do you?
You know what? I think the question is, why are women groomed to catch a man? I think that is.
Didn't it say catch a good man?
Catch
and
Keep a man.
Keep a man.
Yeah.
I think that is wild as hell.
Yeah.
That in the black community, we groom little girls to do that. You have to know who you are as a woman. A man should be groomed and taught how to catch you. You're not catching nothing.
Yeah.
But see, I think that came from like a kind of dated type of view where like the woman probably didn't have enough skills or whatever, so she was looking for that financial, stability with men. But I think when you kind of teach little girls who they are and let them know who they are, you kind of go out and get it for yourself, that man will come find you. You should never go out and be groomed to find nothing. You are the prize. You have to know that. Little girls have to know that. Because that's where that kind of, okay, she thirsty thing kind of come from. I'm not chasing nothing over goddamn man.
Actually,
No, I was just gonna kind of jump on what you were just saying. I think some of that whole like training women to like go after men, it does come from a dated thing, but I think it comes from like kind of similar to our last question, and that back in the day, like men held most of the jobs. They were like for the most part, like women struggled if they did not have a man to take care of them. It was more out of necessity, so that I could have access and more resources in general. And I think that might be partially where that comes from. But on the other side of it too, I do think that you are right in terms of women need to be taught to value themselves and all of those things. But I think the discrepancy comes in that, like you said, guys are more so taught to be bachelors than husbands. Like we're taught to like go out there, have your fun, sow your wild oats, and then like settle down. But we never ever get a lesson in what settling down.
Yeah, I think
means
like women are taught to value themselves. The problem is, as men, we aren't. So our value is in how many women we can
Is
get.
in numbers.
Yeah.
And then a one.
And as far as women, it feels like we're not valued unless we're somehow connected to a man. Think of all of us who are successful and single. What the first thing they say? Where her man at? Is she married? Does she have a boyfriend? I'm always at. Think of all of us that's going to family reunions. Where your man at? You got your little boyfriend? I was told after a funeral, because I had first moved to Chicago, career booming. Not once was I asked, oh, how's your career going? I was told, oh, what man did you move to Chicago to meet? And this is what we go.
That's a cultural thing too, because in some cultures, like in Hispanic culture, they're groomed to be husbands. Like you're gonna go out, you're gonna learn a trade so you can find a woman and take care of your family. That's in the black culture where they kind of teach that go with this woman, go with that woman, have babies everywhere, be on child support, can't do nothing. Like that's a
okay. I don't think that's the
like it's a lot of men, even in the Arabic culture, they are groomed from little boys to be a husband. You have to find
Arabs
that's a
don't be
cultural
on
thing.
shit.
The Arabic culture though teaches you that you can marry multiple wives, right? And so it's like this. I think globally there is this notion of men can go and play, and once they're ready to settle down, they need to find themselves a good woman who doesn't have a lot of body count. So it's like women are expected to stay virgins and pure if they want to be married, but men can go out and play. So all those women that they were playing with, what about them?
Right.
Yeah.
They got caught.
They got played.
But it's some cultures too where the men are really
rough,
supposed to be
raw,
virgins too.
But it's real.
You got girls.
I got girls, and I gotta teach them how to live in the real world. That's my biggest struggle. Is I hear all of these thoughts, I hear all these ideas, but I gotta say to myself, the fact of the matter still remains.
See, but
This
the
is
question
world
was,
they
how do
growing
we
up in,
change
and
the
I gotta prepare
narrative?
them for this
We
world.
don't. Are you saying we don't want to even try to change the narrative?
We're changing the narrative now because we having the conversation. But I still gotta prepare for. I still gotta prepare just in case this shit don't work.
Hold on, I got something.
If that's the case, niggas don't listen, and my daughter come up in the society like we got now.
That go back to the
Okay.
trap thing.
I got something to say. Cause y'all men, y'all run out here, y'all get these good girls, y'all fall in love with these good girls, want to marry them, have a family, and go fuck the freak. Bro, for real, still step out on your wife. I'm being
That don't mean
100.
you don't love her.
No, stay your ass where you at. Don't come try to, man.
What? Who's
That don't mean he don't love her.
So that brings to mind the question about loyalty, though. Then
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
like the definition of
How much loyalty is
different
too much
for
loyalty
men,
in a relationship?
But is it different for men? Are the expectations different for men versus women?
Yes.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah.
Yes. Inequality.
But I think that
Is there equality?
Go ahead, bro. Talk your shit.
I don't know. Like my thing is like, well, to your point, it's kind of like men produce like a lot of sperm on a daily basis. You know what I mean? You produce one egg a month.
Oh no. Hold on, that's a lie. Women are born with millions. They born with like thousands of eggs.
So we gotta get that out. So we gotta get that out. That's what you're saying, bro.
No, what he said is true. A friend of mine.
But you're not releasing them. That's what
Hold on. All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let him finish his point.
Oh, cause I got one to it. Hold on.
But he on to something.
You're
He on to something, right?
You're not releasing those eggs all at one time, and we do see like a lot of men like commit infidelity and stuff like that. So, do you think it's a result of us not loving them, or are we really wired to have?
First off,
multiple?
your sperm has nothing to do with your libido. Secondly, science proves that women's sex driver gets higher as they get older and men's lowers. So that means as we're married, I should be fucking around on you.
No, that just
Let's keep it a buck,
bro.
Let's keep it a buck, bro.
So
real.
it goes down as he gets older, right?
Which means your
That means he gotta get that shit out while he's young. That's why niggas cheat, and when they get older, they be like, "It's out my system. I can't do something."
So now I should cheat on your ass.
I heard it.
Shit out of the girl.
I heard it from an older guy. He was just
Hold on. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
The one egg.
Thank.
What anatomy class did you go to? One egg.
Hold on,
a month?
No, you can
How
release
many?
multiple
We
eggs.
ovulate and we have a menstrual. It is more than one egg.
How many eggs is it?
You do your research.
How many is it?
Do your research.
How many eggs you got? If you gonna say it, how many? You gotta know how many eggs. So you just. So how you know it ain't one?
We're not bleeding for 7 days for one day.
Right, it's not no
Right.
egg.
That's what we
I feel like y'all should be ashamed because y'all been women all y'all life and y'all don't know how many eggs y'all got.
First off, I had twins, so I know I released more than one egg.
Like they
Let's do
paternal?
that. Boom. Yes, they are.
Wait, but the question
Hold
is about loyalty. We look
Yeah,
at
go
everything
ahead.
from an animalistic kind of basic point of view, far as sex. Like y'all, everybody get horny. Everybody want to fuck. I mean, that's how it usually go. But from a loyalty point of view, meaning niggas got consciences too. It plays with your conscience. Your loyalty is something different than your sex drive.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it different
Absolutely.
for men than it is?
Because you can release that sperm in your hand if you choose to.
Thank you.
Nobody
Thank you.
So it's a question about the loyalty with the man. Why is it deemed that men can just be even in business? You know, it's like
Let me
with men, it's just fucking like savage. You know what I'm saying? Like when dudes have business together or whatever, it's animalistic. But when they keep women around them, look at fucking Wakanda. Watch that fucking movie and study that shit. The king had women around him.
Okay, it was fake
Think
movie,
about it, for
but
why?
keep going.
No, it's
You
true.
know what?
It's
I
true.
mean, that's
You gotta know
that's
what
a
it
sign of
is.
power, though.
That goes back to the woman is the closest thing with God. That's why we have
A sign of power.
That's why we have women's intuition. That's discernment. That's knowing
So
something
men
that
don't got
a man don't know.
Right.
Women
Like,
got
if
that.
if y'all gonna play us off like this, then you gotta understand why niggas cheat because we ain't shit.
Hold on, though. No, y'all
Don't hold us to that standard. Don't hold us to that standard. If y'all got women's intuition and we ain't got no type of intuition, and we need women around us to get shit done, I'm just saying.
Was it Tristan fault? Was it Jordan Wood's fault?
All right, y'all. some order. I need a gavel in
one
this
question.
motherfucker.
I got one question, and I'm gonna need you not to get quiet on me like you normally do.
If I can't answer
Call
it, I'm
out.
gonna get quiet. I know when not to like. When to
Call
shut
out
up.
round.
Why do men cheat?
Being selfish.
Has nothing to do with the sperm count.
Thank you.
But can I add to that though? Because I want to say, I want to advocate for y'all. I don't think all men cheat.
We
I don't think all
Okay.
men. I think
But
some.
hold on,
I think
hold on.
a lot
Hold
of
on,
men
real
cheat,
quick
but I don't
though.
think all men
We
cheat.
gotta have the order
men don't
thing.
cheat.
Eric was gonna say something, and then Lebo, was you gonna say something? All right, and then X, and then you can go. Go ahead, bro.
About the cheating thing. Well,
The
this
thing
goes
about
back
the
to
guy
like
with
the relationship thing. I heard this from an older guy. He was just telling me that like, as women get older, they hold like sex over a man's head. Like if you're in a relationship with a woman, they hold it over your head. So you have to do everything in your power in order to get that from her, even though you're still with her. He was saying that if you're in a relationship with a woman, the woman's automatically like supposed to give that up to a man. If you're in a relationship, committed relationship.
That's taught in church.
I think that's true.
I think it's
No,
true.
if I'm in a relationship,
Hold on, y'all.
the bedroom shall not be defiled.
If it's your wife, I think that's true.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think if you marry
Yeah.
somebody,
In the-
your body is no longer yours. I think somebody that.
Hold on, Tati.
That goes to that.
Tati, I agree with you, but go ahead.
What you doing?
I'm just saying, if I'm in a relationship with you and you not trying to throw that shit at me, I'm be upset. I'm be upset.
Hold on, Queen. Hold on, sis. Hold on. We got you.
Hey, she ain't ready.
Finish your point, bro.
That's all I'm saying. It's like you're not trying to throw that pussy at me, and I'm in a relationship. I'm be mad. I ain't gonna lie.
I
So
mean,
you gonna go get it
I
somewhere
got
else?
homeboy.
You might think about that.
If
You know what?
it's
I
being,
fuck with your real
what
life.
if it's being thrown at you and you
By
like
other women?
what would make like because men do it. They'll go home, screw their woman every single night, get something in the morning before they leave, and then for some reason on lunch break they're like, okay, I gotta get it in again.
Right. I mean, it's like, it depends on the man. It depends on where you at.
Go
I
ahead.
would say it does depend on the man, and I also like, I get what you're saying too from the Christian perspective. Like when you marry somebody, your body becomes theirs and their body becomes yours. That thing, but in the sense of like why men cheat, I think, and actually this is on both sides for anyone that cheats. Like the more it's like if everything we do, everything that the person that we are now is a result of actions that we've taken in the past or our habits, quote unquote. It's just that some men have formed a habit of I need all these different types of vaginas to make me feel like a man or to make me feel good or I feel like I just need this. And it becomes a habit. And then the problem becomes when you do find somebody that in your mind like, I love her, I care about her and all of that, you've ingrained psychologically in yourself that habit of, but I have to have something different. I have to have a choice or an assortment, which is kind of like almost to the same extent why like, having a whole lot of different partners before you settle down with somebody isn't the best idea because you're pretty much like satiating that appetite for something different all the time. So then when you want to settle down, it's hard to control that because now it's like somebody that's like been doing drugs their whole life, and then all of a sudden they like, I don't do drugs no more though. Like I'm not gonna do no more drugs. But your body has gotten accustomed to it. So it's like you go through like a sense of withdrawal, and it takes a strong mental will and understanding of yourself, and I think commitment to the person that you're in a relationship with to like, is this really worth it? Like yeah, it's probably gonna be good, and yeah, she look good, but is this worth hurting the person I'm with? Whether or not I think she gonna find out, because I've been around enough dudes that womanize to know she always find out. Whether like you could do everything right, it'll be like, oh, I was out with her at this carnival in Indiana somewhere. We
was on the Ferris wheel.
I'm serious. Hey, I know, like
she was on the seesaw.
No, like they were somewhere. Huh?
It happened to you.
No.
He's like, no, I know for real.
No, cause like I had a homie who told, I was like, yo, how you get caught up? And he was like, man, I went all the way to like, I think he was like South Holland or something, and just and her cousin was there with her boyfriend, and she saw me, and then called her on the phone. I was like, yeah, it's always gonna come out.
All right, look.
Since we talk about equality,
go ahead.
I have to piggyback off of what he said. What's your
Eric.
Eric. So I feel like as a woman, I'm not giving you my vagina, this cookie, this box. If you cheating, if you talking to other women, if you're carrying on inappropriate relationships, you don't deserve my body. And I'm not gonna give it to you. Until you can commit to me, then I'll give you some. But if you're gonna carry on other inappropriate relationships, you don't deserve my body. Go get it from somebody else.
No, he was. I think he was saying like if you're in a relationship and he trying to get the box,
but if you're not doing
and you like no, huh?
If you're not doing things in a relationship, you're still not gonna get it. I don't care if we
doing what within a relationship.
What's the thing?
You have people in
friendly.
relationships and you're still carrying on other relationships, inappropriate relationships with other people. Not saying you can't have friends, but you're telling somebody else, I miss you, I love you, oh I miss that box. No.
But I wasn't saying that. I'm saying if he just
me.
in a relationship with just you and he wants to be with just you and
it's one of them nights.
And you didn't take the garbage out, so she like, no, you can't have it.
Right. So do he got the right then?
Like, nah, nigga, I done told you 12 times.
Because if he, huh?
I'm not gonna get mad over not taking the garbage out, but other stuff, cheating, carrying on inappropriate relationships, I'm not. No, you don't get it.
Man, I'm like, oh, go
Okay,
ahead.
we gonna take a couple
You don't
more.
have to be a non-cheater to be a terrible boyfriend. You can have terrible communication. You can just carry on bad energy. You can embarrass her out in public. Just
Gotta
like
close
not
the
listen.
cookie box.
Like, yeah,
What's your
pretty much. You don't have to be a non-cheater.
I believe that a lot of men, y'all don't be noticing that y'all be over friendly. Not that y'all necessarily are sexually into another woman, but y'all friendliness need to be up there. Like
Sis, they know.
they know. I know they know, but they
know.
Some of them don't though.
All
Some
right.
of them are like they just feel like, man, you can't deal with my energy. You knew I was like this. I'm not trying to stop who you are, sweetheart. I'm really not. I'm saying acknowledge me in the moment and bring me into the conversation. Don't speak to another woman and make it seem like I'm invisible next to you. Because that pisses a lot of women off. I hear that from my friends. Like, girl, he saw his friend. It was like I wasn't even there no more. And I'm like,
But you know what though?
what,
That's
though?
insecurity though.
I think
because
it's,
once you know you got somebody on lock and you that woman, let him play. He's gonna come back.
I think it's interesting.
Not sexually play, but if he's being friendly, like if he's mingling.
But he gotta acknowledge her. She's standing right
I'm
there.
saying like it's a disrespect to it too.
not
It's
to
just
me.
it's a thin line. I feel.
I don't.
If you don't introduce me to your friend, then I would think something.
I mean, I think it depends on the situation and how things go down. Like, it may be a time where something is going on, conversations, this person walk up, and you don't even realize that this person is still right here, and it happens. Like, I agree with the be secure in who you are, and then if there's an issue, let's talk about it. I think that's the issue too, not communicating. Hey, this is how I felt in that moment, and then you let me know what your thoughts were. So moving forward, it don't happen.
And then playing a game, because in certain business situations, if I'm with a guy, you gotta shut the fuck up and let me play this.
Yeah, I feel
and know we on the same team. So it's the same way. Like if I know you handle a business situation, it's gonna go like I'm gonna shut the fuck up and know my place. But when the roles reverse, nigga, you shut the fuck up and know your place.
I have a friend when I lived in they went to her and a guy went to the club. She made sure she walked up first, like, yep, we getting this piece for free. And like it didn't matter. She would get drinks for free. It didn't matter. She didn't say shit.
He didn't say right and know his place. Sometimes
no, it's funny because like I did something similar like that with one of my exes, like because I knew, like, especially in, like you said, in certain situations, like if she was there and she like needed to network or whatever, I like stepped back, like, because I knew dudes was gonna be trying to, like, oh yeah, what's up, da 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 da, but like I was confident in the fact, like, nah, she with me, like it don't matter, you can say whatever, and so like I went and did my own thing, and it worked vice versa. I think it just comes down to trust. And then I also think though there is a second like layer of social communication that men and women have that neither one of them understand, and that like men can sense when another dude is challenging him. and a woman may not realize it. Like she's just like, oh, he was just, but amongst men we know. It's like, nah, he was trying to pull my car, and that's why I went off on dude. And it's the same thing with women. Like when a woman is like, when we think like, oh, she was just being friendly. Like I talk to her all the time, and you was like, nah. So she always grabbing your arm like that. She always resting your hand.
That's where you let them go ahead and be as friendly as you want. Stroke his back, boo, do whatever. When we get home, it's between us. I noticed her doing that, but you're here. You know what I'm saying? You have to be comfortable in that relationship and have that communication between each other to know that regardless of what goes on out there, it's going on out there. I don't have to snap off because she rubbing your back. Eventually, you're going to have sense enough to move so she's not rubbing your back. She could try to get me riled up as much as she won't. But if we have our thing, there's no need.
Then I got to be like this.
I got a question.
Can I say one?
Go ahead, talk.
Now I was gonna say the only other thing I think too, like that men don't get told a lot that we kind of need to like be on more is just like it's okay for us to tell women no, because I feel like that's so out of the ordinary for a dude to be like, can you take your hand off? Like my girlfriend right there, like it's like in certain situations depending on the context, it's okay for a dude to be like, yo, like chill out, like you touching me too much type thing.
And I think like it really just takes two to tango, you know. So like, you know, if you confident in your relationship, like it's real easy for a conversation between a man and a woman to be mistaken as flirting. You know, all you got to do is just talk nice to her. You know what I'm saying? Laugh a couple times, and then you get home. Nigga, I saw you flirting with that bitch. It was like, damn, we was just being nice to each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's real easy for that shit to be mistaken, but you gotta like, yo, know what you got. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody gonna cheat, they gonna cheat. You know, ain't nothing you can really do to stop that. No matter how many times you call yourself going through their phone or how many times you call yourself confronting them about an interaction that they may have with somebody. If they really want to cheat, they can go in and cheat. So it's just about how much trust you got in your relationship, and if you ain't got that, then your shit bound to drown from the gate anyway.
But there's a thin line between being friendly and flirting. You got
no, it ain't.
Yeah, yes, it is. Tone, body language, how your voice change when you talking to me or when you talk to this woman or talking to somebody
you digging too deep into it.
I
mean, and the fact of the matter is, because the thing about the fact of the matter is, people gonna flirt. In a relationship, outside a relationship, as long as they don't.
So you're saying it's okay to flirt. You're not saying that you're thinking too deep into it and that's not flirting. You're saying it's okay.
It depends on how far they go with their flirting. If they move it to like, yo, so what you on later? Then you don't went too far. But if y'all just at an event and y'all whatever, and at the end of the event you ain't exchanged no numbers, you go home to your whatever. It was just something you at a damn event. Move on with your life.
So if your woman was touching on a man, talking to him, giggling, googly eye, you would be cool with that.
Just don't let me find out.
What? Hold on.
Really?
John.
What you mean?
So it's okay. You just don't want to know about
with him to get the bag.
Look, because if of course it's not okay to do, but like if I,
but you just said it's okay. You just said it's okay.
The fact of the matter is, in life, some shit makes sense. Some shit don't make sense, but if you think about it, it really makes sense. But if you think about it, it really makes sense.
Inequality.
I think though ultimately, like if we go back to like the main question about how do we change those stereotypes, it really boils down to communication between the two.
Yeah.
It really boils down to having a deep friendship, because I think that's a lot of things. That's what we miss in a lot of relationships. Is like having a deep friendship and understanding. When you have a friendship with someone, there is like that foundation. That's where you can come in and be like, yo, if I go and cheat and that was just a sexual escapade, I lose something that's taken years to build, right? So ultimately what we're saying is in romantic relationships, we need to communicate more. We need to have a good communication foundation, trust one another. Trust comes in friendship.
And I think we need to be more understanding, though. Because like the fact of the matter is, Who in here can say that they've been in a relationship and they've never gotten themselves in a situation where it could have been mistaken that they were flirting?
But that's what I'm saying though, John. It's like you and I are friends. You do something to piss me off, and I'm like, that wasn't cool, dude. Like, you pissed me off, and you're like, but hold up, I didn't mean to. This wasn't my intention. Because of our friendship and because we always communicate, I can be like, okay, I can see that you didn't see that you were doing that, or that you didn't intend to hurt me, or So it's you get
but I'm saying I'm talking about like intentional flirting, but it's harmless.
But what she's saying,
I think
though,
there's a
is
lot
that
of intentional harmless flirting.
she's saying it's important to be friends first, because a lot of times people just get into relationships and they never have that foundation. Period. It's like we didn't even build nothing. We just like in a relationship. You don't know me like that. I don't know you like that. So if I talk to somebody kind of friendly, you think it's flirting. That's because you don't know. We never took that time out to build a foundation where you know, oh, this how you are with certain type of people. Yeah. We just rush into something.
And you don't realize that for that person, a flirt is nothing. A flirt is a flirt. Yeah. It's not, I'm flirting to get them home. I'm flirting to get their number. Right. I'm flirting because I eventually want to get with them. I'm just flirting because that's something that I do.
I'm just nice.
I'm just
like some people are charismatic.
Yeah,
charm a lot.
Right.
I just think men, as speaking on behalf of all men, we accidentally end up in flirtatious situations.
We accidentally.
No,
and it don't be like, it just be a regular conversation, and then a couple hee haws later, it's like, damn, I'm flirting. And it'd be like, damn, we just
okay, I'm done.
Well, shut it down, like you're having a good conversation, but.
You're not getting any support.
These niggas
that's happened to me.
Any support.
I admitted it. I was like, that's happened to me before. Like, you didn't come in. I didn't come into it with any intention
of
flirting.
Get her
and then next thing you know, you're like, oh wait, damn, flirt.
Damn.
I'm not even trying.
And do you stop it, or do you continue?
Why does that matter?
It does because if it's unintentional and you're like, oh, I accidentally. If I accidentally hit you, I'm not gonna accidentally hit you again. I mean,
what is
just beat
I don't know. Moving on, y'all. Moving on. Who I'm gonna pick on? Who wanna answer a question? Eric, you wanna answer a question? This one is actually safer than the one we hit Tati with. We fucked Tati up.
Y'all really did.
If you could be in a movie of your choice, what movie would you choose, and what character would you play? You got 30 seconds, so you gotta hurry up. Fucking, you got 10 seconds now. Yeah.
Can't even think straight.
Yeah, that's what we want.
What movies?
Throw it out, nigga. Throw it out.
I don't know. I don't know.
10, 9, 8.
I don't know. I want to be Denzel in Training Day.
You want to die?
You want to die?
But I ain't gonna die at the end though.
What did you like about Training Day?
He said Training Day. Y'all just assumed the character.
What I like, because he was just showing.
He was a crooked ass cop.
The dark side of policing. Like the white dude came in thinking it was sweet, and then he realized it's dark side to everything. It's dark side to everything in this world.
So you want to be Denzel?
So you want to play that character because you like the fact that
I like dual-sided characters. So like Ghost from Power, like one of my favorite characters.
Ghost is that dude.
Like if you would have said TV show, I would have said Ghost.
Ghost is that dude.
Ghost.
I thought you was gonna say Dollar Bill.
These flawed niggas, like nobody taking like Black Panther or fucking Superman.
I said
he was too much of a superhero.
I would have said Django.
Y'all like, so we like
You like dual characters.
Yeah,
because like he's looking literally as a character. He's not looking at this role as being his life, and you're thinking about it from a life perspective.
Honestly, if I had the option, I would have picked, goddammit, Harry Potter or some shit, nigga.
My second option would have been Spider-Man.
Right.
I would have been Harry Potter.
Right. He loved white man.
You ain't put your race first, brother.
So speaking of that, do we feel like we need white validation in terms of like thinking of the entertainment industry, like the award shows, Grammys, Oscars, or
we don't feel that way, but society
exactly.
does.
At one point, I did as a kid when I didn't know any better. Like I dreamed like, yeah, I want a Grammy and I want an Oscar and and then as I got older and like I became more aware of that argument about like the fact that like I just listened to a whole podcast I listen to all the time about the reviews films with leading actors of color, they went off a good hour and a half on Green Book.
Was the Man on Films the living color?
It was Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood. But
Did
like,
you really just say that?
That was that shit. You don't remember the Man on Films?
Right.
You don't remember the Man on Films?
2 snaps in a circle.
You ain't watching Living Color, bro?
He ain't gonna give me 30 seconds.
that was, man, you don't know the household I grew up in.
Damn. Okay, go ahead.
It's not that I wasn't old enough to see it. It was probably
I was just thinking the other day. I watched a lot of shit
One of
coming
those
out that I
household
shouldn't have
TVs
been
kill
watching.
lies to the soul.
You know
But
what today?
it was like I didn't hear rap until I was like, what, 5th, 6th grade, because it was no rap music allowed in my house. I didn't get my first rap album until like high school.
Damn.
And that was because someone burned a CD for me. And then the minute it got found, it was thrown out. So like,
Yo, that's dope.
Are you a PK?
no, I'm about as close as you can be though.
Alright, getting back on track though. Getting back on track. You was making some good points before I said my dumb shit. Like,
Oh yeah, no, but like before I realized like how like just problematic and white run that industry is. Like the fact that like a movie like Green Book beat out Black Klansman and Black Panther. And like the main issue with that is like the person that the movie was about, he wasn't even the main character. And the whole story was told from the point of view of a white man. And the person who the story is supposedly about, the guy and his family didn't want them to make the story in the first place.
yeah.
So like when I came to that awareness, it was like, man, fuck these award shows.
Yeah.
Like I don't want no award from you. If I get one, fine, cool, whatever. But like I'm not. It's kind of like when Tommy Hilfiger was like way back when, was like, I don't make my clothes for black people, and then he had to fix it. Was like, well, I wasn't meaning like I don't want black people wear my clothes. I just don't think about black people when I'm making my clothes.
Like, oh, nigga, you just made it worse.
Exactly. Exactly. But like, I mean, for me, like any art I make is for people of color or my people in particular. Like, if I get an award for it, cool. But like, that's not what really. That's not the final goal or a barometer of my personal success anymore.
Man, I have so many. I have like real like valid like thoughts about this. I just can't be serious tonight for some reason. But for me, like me and Lebo was talking about like the whole Spike Lee thing and how he got an Oscar, but it was really like we owe you one type of Oscar, and the fact that with the film like Black Klansman, right, with the type of films that Spike Lee makes in general, are those the type of films that should be seeking those type of accolades in the first place, right? Like when you create something like Malcolm X, right, the Malcolm X film, or even Black Klansman or Do the Right Thing, the award should be in the effect that it has on the community.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion. So when we look at award shows, like what are we and they praise us for like whatever. It's like, what are we really getting out of that?
It's almost like they're willing to praise black mediocrity, but they're not willing to praise black excellence.
Yeah.
You know what? Questions like this, it always like make me sick to my stomach, because I be thinking like in a culture where we are the creators of like hip hop, of like certain
culture,
type of film techniques, of everything that's trendy. Why are we looking for somebody outside of the culture to validate us? It's like, why are we so amped to get an Oscar or a Grammy?
Well,
This is something that we created. The
Hold
white
on.
man should not even be making the most money off something that we created.
True.
It's too many creators in our culture and it's black people for us to be looking for outside of validation. They don't let us come in and they don't give a fuck about us validating or liking none that they have. Why are we looking for master's approval? That's like some slave mentality stuff to me. So it's like almost like sickening to me. And I think in 2019, for us to still have this conversation, like I love Damon Dash. I like what he's pushing far as stopping these culture vultures. We let everybody eat off our culture, and it's like we're so amped to, they gotta validate us. Why? We are the creators of this stuff. It's unity. We have no unity. Why are we still so disenfranchised and disunified and whatever? Give me another word. I stopped thinking about words. Disband from ourselves that we seeking these outside approvals.
Go ahead.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying. I think just for a long period of time, even like pre-internet, that was the way that people noticed you was with the Grammys or with the Oscars. But now that it's 2019, we have the internet now. It's like we don't really need that validation because we can either go start our own media platform or we can go, just put a song out there and then that thing will go viral, and that's the validation that we'll probably receive. But you're right, we don't need.
But you know what though? Even before, we wasn't even looking for them platforms to validate, because them people used to come to the hood and come get us and make themselves known to us, because we was making stuff hot. Black people have always made stuff hot with the streets.
Right.
The people at the top, they want to infiltrate the streets, because that's where the money at. That's where the word of the mouth at.
Is it though?
So it's never
say,
yes.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say because they still do that, and like if you like, it's certain every now and then, like especially during the summer, like I don't know if any of you all happen to see this. I've seen it a couple times. Sometimes like I've literally seen like this white dude taking a picture of this like black high school kid, and it's strictly for the clothes that he put together, and then he turns that into a trend. Like, oh, look at this, like, and because they copy it from us. It's just like you said, like we're so quick to like, oh, he want to take my picture and da 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 da. But he doesn't. He probably didn't ask, why are you taking this picture? What are you gonna use this picture for, or whatever. Like they're still using that as a basis to build American culture, and then taking the credit for it pretty much, or trying to take the credit for it. Because like I like lost my shit the day I saw something about Kim K invented box braids. I was like, I literally was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you serious? Like, who posted this article so I can message them personally? Like, get your whole fucking life. Like, are you serious?
Somebody to truly write that article and truly believe it. That
I was just like, wow.
It's the same thing with the European colonizing every continent. They see disunity. They see some people with some resources. They see, just like with Africa, they see different tribes. They not banding together as one person. I don't even want to use African, period. Native Americans, anything. Different tribes, nobody is unifying. They gonna come in and they gonna use that shit as an advantage. They've been doing it and they still are doing it. It's very sad and shit. We need to be grieved as a community. This shit is sad.
Man, my whole problem is like now, especially like now, like I said about the media, I feel like we could control our own media. Everybody I know got a media. Kevin Durant got a media company. Kobe got a media company. I'm like, all these people got media companies. Why we just don't put it together? We could literally just run the whole thing.
Yeah, but I will say though, there is at least in their industry there is an advantage to getting that award, because like it's almost like when we were talking about in one of our previous episodes that whole issue with Monique and how she wanted more money because she's like, I'm an Oscar award winner. In that industry, that is like a certain standard. Like, I have this award, meaning it is an insult to me personally if you offer me anything less than this based off of this accolade that I've received.
So like bringing it back to like just like the creation of Black art though, being placed in those type of environments to receive accolades. Is it authentic, right? Is it something that's being done genuinely to just like celebrate something that's gonna help push the culture forward, or is it being used as a tool to actually control the narrative, right? So when we look at like the Green Book, and we say, hey, what story is this really telling? Whose story is this really telling? And is this even a true story in comparative terms to all the other options? And then for it to win, to me, I looked at it because I didn't watch the Oscars, but I've heard, right? And I
didn't
looked.
want to. I was
Yeah.
You seen who the best dress was, right?
The Black Panther got it.
That was him?
No, not the Black Panther, but I'm saying the lady who created the costumes for Black Panther.
No, I said you didn't see who the best dressed was.
Oh, who the hell was that?
A young man.
Oh yeah, he wore his dress.
With the tuxedo at the top and then the dress at the bottom.
Yeah. I did.
He didn't do a good job.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what y'all think about that.
Breaking gender norms. That's what it was supposed to signify.
I came up with that idea 3 years ago. I swear.
Demasculization of the black
I
man.
ain't wearing no damn dress.
Been trying to do that.
Yeah. I'm like, if that's what you want to do,
Nigga hit a
cool.
beard.
I don't even feel like
Yeah.
I don't even feel like trying to
I
sound smart.
understand like why he did it, but like it's not me.
Anything else?
And he married to a white man.
Nollywood. I ain't never heard the term Nollywood.
You ain't never heard of Nollywood, bro?
Bruh. That's
See,
the
that's an
new
example we could learn from.
Like it's solution, like yeah, like
Because they don't care about the quality of it. They want to tell their own stories, and they created their own multi-billion-dollar industry. And it's like Nigerians, West Africans love it, but it's not just in West Africa. It's across the continent. Like everywhere you go in the continent, you will see a Nigerian movie playing something.
yeah, like my mom, I'll go over to my mom's house and like she'll be on YouTube watching like Nollywood. Like if you just go on YouTube and just type in Nollywood, like it's like a bunch of like African movies and like the quality is shit. But the story,
the story be
good. Like there's this, I walked in and I ended up sitting down for like an hour watching a story about a dude who moved to America and he left his girl and her friend. His friend liked her and he started talking to her and told her that he left and he ain't never want to be with her. And then when he came back, she was married to the friend and they done had a baby. And he found out that his friend lied and said that he went to America, but he was really around the corner. And then like, it was just a whole, he told the elders in the village. And it was just a whole bunch of shit. And I'm like, yo, this is a really, really good story.
And you know what that remind me of? The white man coming to continents with some bullshit glass and telling them like, look at this. This is good product. Look at this. And give us y'all shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, why are we exchanging? Okay, the white man do get Hollywood. He got all this cinematic shit, all that shit like that. But we could always change that for our narrative.
Like, because I think that, like, we live in a beautiful time now because we have all the tools to create what it is we say we really want. I think as long, like, I'm glad that we're having a conversation about like validation from like white establishments because hopefully in conclusion we can realize that we don't need that and as long as like we can like what we're doing now create content for each other and the validation comes from each other, that is what I think they fear the most when we start to validate each other. And look to each other for like, yo, did I do a good job?
Yeah.
That's when they're like, oh shit.
When their opinion don't matter anymore.
And when we stop caring about like how many accolades they give us.
True. And I want to add to that. I think that was because I did watch a portion of the Oscars. And I got a similar vibe from a moment between Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan when Mahershala won for Green Book. And it was like Michael B. Jordan just leaned over and whispered something in his ear, and it was kind of like you could tell like he was like, yeah, you know they was gonna get him that bullshit, right? And like Chadwick was like, yeah, and then just went on clap. It was like, we ain't worried about it. Like we know we did good type deal, and it was beautiful because too like everyone that did win from Black Panther shouted out Ryan Coogler because somehow like he did an amazing job and did get nominated for anything. Which is crazy. Yeah. But like I got that same vibe from everyone that came up there. The first person they acknowledged was like, "Thank you, Ryan Coogler, for doing this." Yada yada yada.
But see, for me, it's like they're thanking him, but they're still like there for that white approval.
I don't know if y'all watched the Grammys, but Drake went up there and they cut his speech, but he basically told them, he was like, you don't need this. You already dope. If you got people spending their hard-earned money to come out and watch you in the rain and the snow to pay to see you dope as shit. You don't need this approval. And they did cut him off. But like I felt that because he was letting people know like you made it. You don't need this to tell you made it. You made it.
But what was boss about what Drake did is he didn't tell them he was
coming. He didn't.
You know, so it was like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to accept my award and you're not going to do anything.
He didn't tell the Grammys that he was coming in?
No, he didn't tell me he was coming.
He pulled up in the back, came on stage, got his award, did what he did, left.
and left.
That's dope. I like that. I like that. That's a sign of the times for real.
Yeah, and I think like what Nollywood shows us, just going back to that, is like we can do so much with little. Like we can do so much with little, and like we're proving that now. Just even with this, you know, like this is a format that no one's thought of, and it's like we're not waiting for Harpo Productions or like not to hate on Oprah, but I mean, you know, we're not waiting for something like that. It's like, okay, let's do it ourselves. Let's put it together ourselves. We'll throw it up on YouTube and
live our life. Shit.
Yeah.
Keep doing great.
And I was gonna say, I think like the more and more we do it, the quality will get there. Because like me, like doing stuff in film, like there's a lot of black like people our age that do 3D design, that do animation, like VFX, and I think it's just the fact that they don't know that there's a group of people that look like them out there trying to make films and things like that. And once the more we come out with stuff like this, the more they'll realize like they don't have to go to Hollywood for opportunity and stuff like that.
Consistency is key, and I think that and wrapping up, you know, consistency is key. And I think what the establishment tries to do is when it sees that consistency paying off, it tries to jump in between that, right, and adopt you. But we gotta understand, like, yo, you know, if it wasn't for your consistency, if it wasn't for the family that you've created on your journey, they wouldn't have paid you any attention in the first place. So anyway, man, episode 7, yo, we gotta close it up, man. We gotta get up out of here. I gotta go find me something to eat. I love y'all. We want to shout out to the Loop 2150 again. Y'all want to shout out y'all social medias?
Citizen X got bars on IG, Twitter, Facebook, all of that.
Yeah, Toddy, go ahead.
Miss Toddy, mz.taty on everything. Just a mile away, mental health services. Check that out too.
Indeed.
The Loop 2150.
Loop 2150. Oh, at John _ the author. Yeah.
At it's _ the can. Shout out to 6D Networktainment.
Okay. Eric TS1 on Instagram. Eric the Sage on Twitter. Add me on PlayStation Network at Ayla Egg.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bro. Nigga, add me on Xbox One, J-Bake Lives.
Why you tell
on
people
2K19.
You got Xbox? Don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
Don't tell me you got an Xbox. Don't do that.
Nigga, you hate.
Okay. At May for them on everything. And then I want to shout out Sean King. He's coming out with his own newspaper platform. He's bringing back Frederick Douglass's The North Star. So sign up to be a founding member of that, so that we can have our own people telling our own stories.
Ooh, I like that.
All right, y'all. Black Group Therapy, yo. We out. Peace.
Peace.